All right, welcome everybody to today's NBAR meeting. We'll go ahead and get started with public comment. Is there someone in the audience or online that would like to speak to a subject that is not on today's agenda? Please raise your hand or come forward.
I think I'm here Friday. Well, is the Record Road, the Verizon Tower, is that the only one? Is there another one?
Okay.
The Child Care Center, is that still being?
We do not have any public comment.
All right, thank you very much. I'll ask for member recusals for today's meeting.
Not me.
Anybody? Okay. We'll move on to the agenda status report.
We do not have any changes.
Perfect. Okay, in the packet was the minutes from our November 21st meeting. Had you guys had a chance to go over that? And if so, would you like to make any changes, add any comments, or amend any written comments?
Oh, sure. I was absent at that meeting.
Okay, thank you.
I have a comment or a question on the item for the first comment. Ethereal, was that the right word that somebody used? It says darker wood is more ethereal. Was that the
I
right
don't
word?
recall that comment. I don't think I made it, I know.
I don't know if that's the right word.
I couldn't spell it.
I will,
We'll review the recording and then I'll make that correction.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Other than that, I have no comments.
All right, then I'll ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes for November 21st.
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
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 I'll abstain.
Thank you, sir. Okay, has anybody, we'll move on to NBAR members informational briefing. Has anybody had any contact with applicants and or staff with regards to the items on today's meeting?
No.
Okay, moving on to item number 6, staff update.
Hi there. I don't have any specific updates today, unless there were any questions that you had about projects. That you wanted an update on. Gwen mentioned last week you had a question about the status of a particular project, maybe in Los Alamos.
Yeah, and I asked about the project on the Palmerston property.
Ah.
And it looked like Steve gave me the info. It was, how did it increase from what I thought was 55 to 90 units? So
Yeah, it went from 61 units to 99, and that was through a development agreement, and then the development plan effectuating that development agreement was approved in October.
did they increase the parking at all?
They did, yes. They increased the number of spaces as well as the ratio of number of parking spots to units.
I think the other thing was the deleting of the preschool.
Yeah.
That was removed off the site, or will be removed off the site.
Yes. And actually the trip count was reduced as well through the removal of the school. So compared to the approved project, once the school was removed and even with the increase in units, there's a decrease in the number of total trips.
What kind of units is it? Is it a mix or was it? I seem to remember it being a lot of 1-bedroom units.
I believe, well, there's 2 and 3 bedroom units as well.
Okay.
And all of the 2 and 3 bedroom units have 2 parking spaces assigned to them. I believe the makeup is about half 2 and 3 bedroom units, because that was something that obviously the development agreement it's a legislative act, and so there's a negotiation that occurs, and I think that was a priority. And I am happy to email you the specifics, but that was something that was increased, was the ratio of like family units versus studio and 1-bedroom units.
Okay. No, you don't need to send me anything. Just the clarification's fine.
Okay.
Thank you for that update. With that said, we'll move on to the standard agenda items. Number 123 BAR 00173, the Verizon on Rucker Road. If the applicant is ready, go ahead and begin your presentation.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Armando Montez, representing the applicant Verizon Wireless. Verizon is proposing a new wireless telecommunications facility on the southwest corner of Purisman Road and Rucker Road in Lompoc. Facility will consist of a 50-foot tall faux water tank located within a 900 square foot equipment enclosure. Through our various discussions with this committee, we have settled on the following tower design features. A faux wood tank that will be painted drift of mist and half calf. The legs will be painted dark brown, and the center pipe will be painted in evergreen to best blend with the backdrop of the trees. The equipment enclosure will have tan slats for privacy, and the service lights will be directed in a downward position to shield light and remain unlit unless in the event of night work. I believe since the last time we met, there was some more information requested about the tank legs, more structural information. We have since provided our construction drawings, which give more detail and hopefully can answer more of the questions you guys may have. That concludes my brief presentation and open to any questions you guys may have.
Can we see the project elevations for it? The construction elevations? Those.
Yeah, so we also have, there are separate pages towards the back of these drawings that have like the tower construction info, which might have some of the information you guys are looking for, but just wanted to give you that piece of information.
Yeah, so you said you beefed up the lattice support on it?
Yeah, we had improved the lattice support from previous iterations. I think since the last time we've had already upgraded them, but we weren't showing the specific information you guys needed to see that they were beefed up. So if we would go down quite a few pages on these drawings, I can show you what the dimensions are.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
Maybe you can just inform us what the member sizes are. I don't see those noted on there. The cross bracing.
Yeah, so it looks like the bracing here, the center pipe is 20 inches. I can tell you that much.
I don't care about the center pipe,
The legs are 6 inches.
right?
Let's see, 6 inches there.
Armando, what page is that on in the drawing package?
We're on page 28.
No, it's like there's an attachment detail there.
They're 3x3s.
3x3s. What is the detail is 3/S6? Is that what that is? I
Yeah.
can't read. from
Yeah.
there. Can you go to S6?
That's what we asked for.
Sheet S6. Okay, detail 3,
Yeah, down at the bottom of the page.
probably. Yeah, there it is.
Okay. So your X bracing is full on 3x3?
Yes.
Okay.
And the horizontal member there is what?
is also 3x3.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, does the board have any comment on what has been provided?
No.
Okay. Well, then at this time, I'll open it up to public comment. If we have a commenter, please introduce yourself for the record, and we have 3 minutes for your.
Okay. I need the picture of the site location up so we can look at this while I make my comment. I need to reference that.
Okay.
This one? Yes, please.
And go ahead and introduce yourself for the record.
I will.
Thank you.
My name is Karen Hallenstein. I'm a resident of Lompoc Valley. I'm also here representing the landowner right across the street here from where they're proposing.
Karen, can I ask you to stay by the microphone just because it won't be on record?
Okay. You really would have to, because you're dealing with aesthetics, okay? And you would really have to visit her home. And we can show you exactly what she's going to see from sitting on her porch where she sits every day for hours. Okay? The fact that this applicant has not considered a different location on the property that does not offend and severely affect the homeowner right here, her house is right here.
Karen, I'm going to ask that you please stay by the podium. Thank you.
Because of the precedent this county has set in the past regarding people building in other people's horizon lines. We already have a legal precedent. The homeowner is asking Verizon and the Campbells to move this location so she doesn't have to look at it. That's on record.
Is there any,
You can consider whatever from that. You have to consider Jody Neeson's home. And you guys should visit her house. Really, you're getting paid to do this job, aren't you?
Thank you, Karen. You have to use the back.
Yeah. You locked me in here. That's okay. Have you guys been listening to my comments at the Board of Supervisors? You should.
Thank you for coming today.
Yeah, thanks. Do that.
so, Shannon, are you there?
I am here, yes.
Okay. Didn't we get rid of the Horizon viewpoint?
In general, the county doesn't protect private view sheds. Our policies related to aesthetics are from public view sheds, and the staff report that went to the planning commission and was considered when the project was approved specifically included analysis of all the telecom and general county policies related to aesthetics, and the project was found consistent with those. So
Yeah,
yeah.
she's,
Make a comment about that. I do a lot of expert witness work with tree cases and things like that, and no one has a right to view across someone else's property. In the state of California, no one has a legal right to a view across someone else's property. So you cannot make somebody cut down trees on their property to open up your view.
I had a project years ago after the fires down in Oliva there, and
Can you use your microphone, please? Thank you.
the concern was, it was you.
Issue looking at the ocean. I'm on, so. And the issue was that there was a CCNR in that case, so that preempted the state law, so, yeah.
okay.
There, The exception is like an HOA's restrictions or a deeded view easement, or you can buy the right to an easement across somebody's property. But just properties adjacent to each other, there's no legal right to a view across someone's property.
Yeah, I'm personally sympathetic to the concerns because I think that there could have been other locations, but that's neither here nor there at this point. It's been through the planning commission and the location's been accepted. So the question now is just the aesthetics of the individual site.
Correct. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak to this first item? We are. So go ahead and introduce yourself for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Joy Hoover. I have not prepared a speech today. Yesterday was my birthday. I got to go to Solvang shopping with my daughter. I got to go to Santa Barbara, go out to dinner. We live in a beautiful county, and I really like it here. I really don't want them to build a giant cell phone tower at the bottom of my hill. And when they talked about it last time, they said the radiation was just going to be off the hook, 75 feet up. And so the way our neighborhood's set up, you drive down the hill, down Rucker, everybody, there's like 1,400 homes there. They're all going to be affected by that as they drive down the hill. I got in touch with the people at the state parks, and I let them know that that's right across from the state park, catty corner. And there's a bunch of wildlife trails there. There's a bunch of deer trails, coyote. There's a bunch of nesting migratory birds in the trees right there. And I just think it's a terrible place for the tower. And I wish you guys would not approve it. So that's my statement.
Thank you. Okay, with regards to what has been presented, does the board have any other comments or questions?
Just a point of a quick question. Do we have any right to say where that's going to be?
I don't believe we do. I mean, as our board, we only comment on what it looks like.
Right, that's what I thought. And I mean, we've had numerous meetings on this particular
Site.
project before, and it seems that there is considerable neighbor, a lot of emotion about it. And I'm just curious, between us and planning, if there is any dialogue going on where there might have been some consideration made for the location for this on a really large piece of property? Or is it just listening and moving forward without regard? I don't understand.
Well, as it comes to us, the project site and location have already been approved by the planning commission. So the discussion as to where it sits, how high it is, and all that stuff is really based on that discussion and that back and forth. By the time it gets out of that and then comes to us, we just comment on what it looks like. And we have no say as far as where it goes, how, we do have some say on the height of it, but really that's just inches and a matter of feet with regards to its operation. So as these projects get submitted and approved by planning commission, our goal is aesthetics, and that's it.
And I add a little color there too, that their application requirements require the applicant to do an alternative site analysis where they looked at other properties and even other sites on this subject property, and that is considered by the planning commission when they review the development standard and policy consistency for the project. So that was all presented to the planning commission as well.
So if the board doesn't have any more comments on this particular item, I'll ask for a motion now to approve BR number 23-00173, the Verizon Tower at Rucker Road.
Yes, this is for final approval.
Correct.
I'll make the motion.
Can I get a second?
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Abstain.
Armando?
Yes, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that's it, bud.
All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.
We are now moving on to the second item on today's agenda, BR number 23-00183, the Firebird Properties LLC Child Care Center. If the applicant is available, please go ahead and introduce yourself for the record and begin your presentation.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Pablo Romero, and I represent Firebird Development for this particular project of the Brisa Encina Child Care Center. On the last board meeting, we understood that the project was well taken, and in general terms, the board found it agreeable, and we were requested to come back with detailing to clarify how we were visualizing achieving the imagery that we were providing in our elevations. And so this is what we've come back to present. I can, of course, do a general overview, and if we could go to sheet A 0.03 just for quick intro.
What page was it again?
It's A003. It's the architectural site plan. It's probably sheet 14 in the PDF. There you go. So our building is sitting in the adjoining the Brisa Encina Apartments development, and it's sitting at the northwest corner of the site. Of course, it's an entirely independent subdivided parcel, and basically the building will house a childcare with a few rooms for different age groups, admin services, and some other staff support areas. We have independent parking provided for the childcare operation per se. Some drop-off areas also are included, and that's basically the setting. We're setting it all the way back to the back to meet the setbacks along the west and the south end, and that's basically our setting. We have a playground area east of the building, and that basically completes our site plan. If we could move forward to the next sheet, please. And this is our floor plan and roof plan. We've discussed that this will be a modular building, a pre-manufactured building made up of what we are expecting to be 8 modules to be running longitudinally from east to west and mounted on site on concrete foundation on stem walls. And then the modules will come pre-finished all the way to waterproofing membrane. And then once on site, the final stucco finish will be applied, as well as all the rest of the features, such as parapets and terracotta tile detailing and the awnings and entry structures. Can we go to the next sheet, please? So our elevations, sheet 16, please. The elevations, we've been discussing this. There have been no changes. We're basically talking about a very simple, yet we think elegant structure that is just running on stucco and in a series of details of trims around windows and the likes. On our right hand, oh, it appears that these are not the most current. Soren, were we able to upload the most current drawings we sent out? Excuse me, because this probably will not have all the details.
Okay, I
Yes, did you
downloaded.
send-
Yeah, this is what was uploaded and I downloaded this morning.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Pablo's Soren's off today. Was there something that you sent to him specific that you're not seeing here?
just by seeing this one, it means that we don't have them. These are not the most current, but okay, I'll try to see what this one accounted for. We did send an updated set, which had a little bit more details to it. At any rate, if we could jump now to A401, sheet A401, that's 2 sheets down the lane. There you go. So in here, we start detailing our, the typical walls we will be using. Most of this has to do with, general construction, general building types. But if we can just go to, let me see. Just because it's a little different. I think detail C6, I'm sorry. Detail 6 will be our typical perimeter wall. That's our wall structure will be made out of 2x with finish with wrapping on the outside. As I mentioned, that's the final coat. That Tyvek wrapping will be the final finish on the modular side, and then we will site install the 3-coat stucco on site. So it comes all the way to the backing, to the plywood backing and waterproofing membrane, and then 3-coat stucco gets installed on site. We have a series of, excuse me?
Does this set, if you're familiar with this set, does it have the window trim and parapet details on it?
I hope it does. That would come in the following sheet. We can go jump into the next sheet. Yes. So okay. Detail 1 is our header detail. If we can zoom in a bit into detail 1, please. There we go. So again, we got the water resistive barrier and then trims. The detailing of trims will include a double detail for flashing, one below header, one above the trim, and that's basically our detail for windows and doors as well. Detail 2 is just a detail we're throwing out there in case we end up having any type of penetration. Most probably we will end up having to do something like that. So if we could scroll down to detail 2, similarly, it will be trimmed out, around the perimeter, very similar. Detail 3, it's a jamb detail. This one is in plan view, but it's very, very similar to the way we are addressing, or rather consistent to the header detail. And detail 4 is our detail for window sill. We can scroll down. Yep. A little bit less, please.
It's just loading, yeah.
There you go. So again, consistent with the rest of our header and jamb details, this is how we address our window sills. Next to it on detail 8, parapet finish. Some instances where we're going to be thickening it. It will be rounded out with stucco as well. We do keep another detail in hand, as we sometimes it's a bit not as robust as that one, and it might go more into detail 5 above. Can we scroll up to detail 5, please? It's above.
Oh, at the top.
It's at the top, yes. So yeah, similarly, in this instance, we're just pretty much creating that thick, that trim line with metal capping. We're also adding some details there for our corner control joints, which is detail 6, and we got a just typical control joint, which is detail 7. If we could jump into the next sheet. A403, I think it is. Yes, here we have a detail of our column. Detail 2 is our detail of our column. The cable truss design is, of course, very schematic. It will be dependent on structural, but the reality is that they won't be visible because the whole triangular portion of the frieze is finished in stucco, so this will not be exposed. So it's really, I don't think, an item for aesthetic review. But detail 2, as I mentioned, that's how we are building up our columns. As you see, it's basically a frame, kind of a slightly elaborate frame with different pieces of 2x and some of them rounded to manage that shape of the column base, and all of it is finished in the same stucco. One of the questions we were asked on the previous meeting was how are we foreseeing treating that thickened stucco at the bottom, the baseboard. So detail 3, if you scroll down a bit, detail 3 precisely details that that padded base, which is basically the addition of a plywood backing to create that bump up, and it's of course completely flashed on the transition, and that's our baseboard. And if we can continue scrolling down, details 5 and 6. Yeah, that's probably the one that was not replaced. That's one of those that was not replaced. In terms of visual expression to the outside, the details are still valid. The difference basically resides in that, in reality, this will be a stem wall foundation with crawl space underneath. So concrete underneath here will not exist. It's rather that the module floor framing will be sitting above a footing, stem wall foundation, and then the rest will be a void underneath the structure. So that is the change. That's the detail that did not change. But again, in terms of the expression of how it, of the feel of how it is read from the outside, it's still a valid detail.
Pablo, do you have a detail showing the connection of the field-built parapet on the modular structure?
We do not have a per se a connection that is typically just a 2x that gets added above the rim joist on the module, and then it grows from there. I don't know if we have a full blown here.
So you're bracing it back into the roof?
That is right.
Can we go back up to the roof plan, the floor plan and roof plan? Yeah, go back down to down to that roof plan. That one.
Shoot 15, yes.
So you're parapeted on all four sides, right?
That's right, yes.
So you'll show some more crickets in there and diagonal bracing?
No, there will not be a need for bracing, again, unless we get that determination by structural. But we've done a couple of these type of buildings, and it has not been required to add any type of bracing for the parapets. They're not that high. And in terms of the cricketing,
Yeah, that's all shown now. Is it one of the jobs of the parapet would be to hide the HVAC units, right?
That is correct. And that's why we're centering them where the parapet grows a bit.
Okay. And have you submitted construction drawings?
No, we have not.
Okay. What's your timeline for those?
In terms of how fast we could produce them,
well, just in your schedule of how you're submitting all this.
Right now, we didn't have CDs and building permit in our scope of work at this phase yet. We were just on the planning phase. That's what we were addressing at this time. We were waiting for, well, like we've typically done, waited for planning approval and then moving into CDs.
Okay. So Shannon,
Yes.
can we halt the discussion? Shannon, with regards to the submittal of the construction drawings and our approval, I mean, he's demonstrated for the most part how it's going to be built, representing his, so he's got the details to back up his elevations. Does our final approval depend upon submittal of construction drawings?
Let me pull up the checklist. I thought it was just to demonstrate constructability, which
right.
Let me just pull up the guidelines.
Well, I just want to make sure that what he's given us is the same thing that he's going to submit. Yeah.
And that is, I mean, we don't anticipate that the planning set of plans that that SORN would be approving would they would be reviewed for compatibility with whatever the final NVAR set of plans is, and then he also reviews that the building set of plans. So there are kind of built-in checks for that sort of thing. Let me just pull up the architectural review checklist real quick. Our checklist. Okay. For Final approval, let's see. They're supposed to have existing proposed possible, okay. Sorry, just skimming this real quick. Dimensions and height. Oh, this is for science. I'm sorry. Completed working drawings, excluding electrical and plumbing, mechanical and structural drawings, unless components of these plans would affect the exterior of the building. All details, color samples, door hardware, fenestration, exterior lighting fixtures must be submitted on plans for final review. The final plans will only be approved if they are in substantial conformance with the plans given preliminary approval. So that's the ones that the board saw last time. They should have building details, landscaping plan, but it doesn't say anything about actual, CDs.
Pablo, we've seen the landscape plans for this, right?
No, not yet.
Okay. Do you have landscape plans submitted?
We do have landscape plans down the lane. If we can keep scrolling down, let me see. Oh, but again, if these were not the ones that we sent yesterday, we'll not have land irrigation.
Yeah, that's the same package
Okay.
that we saw last time.
Yes. Yeah, I do have the irrigation and the package we sent out, but it appears that it didn't make it through.
And
I wanted to see the drawings that support the installation and construction of the landscape, much like what you've done with the details.
And yes, and they are in the package that I have here, but yes, unfortunately it didn't make it through.
Okay.
It does have irrigation plan, irrigation details, as well as landscape installation details. Yes. And definitely a more thorough planting plan.
And what the information packet says for landscape plans is that it needs to list the names of the plant sizes, quantity, and location, and then the irrigation type to be noted on the plans.
Correct, which is what is not in the set that we're seeing. I understand that.
Okay. So with regards to our progress on this, you are agendized for final approval without seeing the landscape plans. I mean, I think we're all comfortable with the details he's provided for the building itself and that it represents what you've proposed. We will need to see those landscape plans to grant final approval.
Shannon, do you have those plans at the county office?
Well, Pablo, did you just send them yesterday? That may be why. Yeah. Soren, he's out today. I checked the file, but I don't see anything more recent than what you're looking at. There could be, maybe this is an opportunity for final on consent.
Yes, so we did send them out. Apparently, we sent a link that he couldn't work out. Then we resent the actual files. But yes, sure enough, we didn't receive a confirmation that he had received them yesterday. I tried reaching out this morning, but now I understand that he's out. So yeah, that probably there was some miscommunication there. And but yeah, we understand it's not part of what you have in there, and I understand it.
Pablo, does this slow your project?
I think Frank Thompson is in the call. I don't know, Frank, if you want to, or if he can also join on the conversation.
Yeah, Pablo, I'm here. I've been following everything.
In terms of the timeline, Frank, does this impact the timeline if we have to come back in January for final with the landscape included?
Well, we'd like to turn it around.
Mhm.
The project itself is small enough, I believe, that we're set up for like a zoning administrator approval of the land use, which is what we're waiting for in order to finalize the lot split. So yes, one thing leads to another. It would help if we could move sooner.
The reality too is that the code's changing January 1st. So if it's not been submitted by now, it's not going to get submitted this year because I don't think any agency is accepting
New plan.
submittals at this point for the current code edition. It'll be on the 25 code. So that'll be sometime in January, probably. So if you haven't submitted your construction documents to building at this point, it'll go on a new code.
Yeah, that is
I'm
correct.
pretty sure of that anyway.
Yeah, you are correct on that. And that's a decision that we made not to run for the boundary there. Yeah, and again, now this one, remember with the modular construction, they have their own approval process from the state on the structure, basically most of the structure, and then we've got local review and approval on all the grading, the foundation, the connections, all the exterior work. Basically everything that you've reviewed will be under the revised code next year. That's correct.
Well, Pablo, you said that you were engaged to provide planning approval. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And then you will be working on the CDs for it.
That is also correct.
Have you started working on the CDs already?
Well, with this submittal, we actually did, we started, picking out details that would be applicable, and we started developing specific details for this purpose. Some of these actually didn't make the cut into these plans that we're seeing. We developed a wall section that was far more detailed than what we saw. So at this point, we are in fact working on CDs.
Have you engaged a structural engineer to provide the calculations and stuff for the?
We have not yet. No.
Right.
No engineering has been involved other than civil engineer and landscape architecture. That's besides us. That's all the team that we've got working right now.
But Pablo, remember the manufacturer of the modular units will hire the structural engineer.
Exactly.
So we obviously have a coordination about the foundation connection, adequacy of the foundation and so forth. But instead of having two structural engineers, Steve, we use this structural engineer that the modular factory uses for their modules.
Well, with regards to that, you're going to apply field applied parapets, and
Yes,
those require some analysis. Is that same modular company's engineer going to provide those calculations and details?
That's correct. For continuity, otherwise you'd have two structural engineers.
Right.
That's correct. Typically, what we're doing is we end up presenting a single plan set that will be submitted to the state for modular review and then to the county for the county review. In that set, we will be highlighting, through color and hatches and other measures, we will be highlighting what is pre-manufactured and what is site installed so that the plan reviewers can easily see the whole context of how the building is put together, but at the same time can clearly define what they have to review and what is part of the other agency, the other authority having jurisdiction.
Okay. So with all that said, our pending approval, possibly in January, won't affect your timeline at all.
Right. I mean, as far as building it, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. Now, I mean, you give us guidance today on the structure. Without the complete landscape, clearly we would need to come back for your review on the landscape.
Yeah. So, I mean, either way, either you come back on the consent calendar or you come back for final approval at that meeting. You still come back.
Right.
Okay. So I think if the board has no other questions with regards to the architecture of the building,
Actually do.
okay.
I'd like to take a look at the front, and I think it's the east elevation renderings,
Yes.
main entrance and the side entrance to the little park in the back, the outdoor play area.
That would be sheet, I guess 17.
Yep, that's it. My question is, we have been assuming that each time we've seen the next iteration, that the rendering of the artwork around the door on both elevations is sort of what we're going to see. And I think I heard somewhere along the line that it was an indication only. So I guess, when do we get to see what the final is going to look like? Because it's pretty much integral to the building, I think. I mean, is this what we're going to see? Is, the way it looks right now, is that what it's going to be? Or is it going to be something different than this?
I don't think we own the rights for this is just stack imagery that we use, but it was the theme. Frank, were you, I think we had discussed about engaging with a local artist to generate something along these lines?
Yeah, we had not done it yet. Right. Yeah, this I'm sure was taken, electronically from somewhere and was meant to be representative, not definitive.
Can't hear what he's saying.
I'm sorry, it was meant to be representative of what the final, product would look like, not definitive. And that it goes to ownership. I mean, because this was a borrowed image or shared image, whatever, not licensed. And so when we're talking about hiring a local artist, then obviously that would be original artwork and they would own it and we would be able to use it.
Oh, so to be clear, you're still going to provide some kind of artwork on these two doors?
Oh, definitely. And it might look, 99% like this, but it's going to need to be drawn by a local artist so that we have the legal right to put it up there.
Okay. Shannon, with regards to final occupancy and planning approval, if something is depicted but not necessarily specific, as this is, do you guys have a say? I mean, what I'm getting at, if it is depicted for us that their intent is to provide these murals on this building in some fashion, does it then become part of planning's final approval in the field?
Yeah, I mean, the notes on the plan say that there will be an artistic mural there, so we can, and we can also note in these minutes that the planner needs to confirm that an artistic mural is shown on these elevations. That's no problem. I mean,
Yeah, because I'm just trying to get at what is represented to us is what we're going to see out in the field.
Right.
So, and we completely understand about clip art and all that licensing stuff. So,
I think one thing that's important is that also part of the building permit process is that once the CDs are completed and it's about to receive the final approval for the building permit, our plan set goes back to planning, and planning will perform a review to confirm that it's been consistent with what was originally approved in the whole planning process, including the architecture and the aesthetics of it. Right. So it's not like this is the final time that planning will see it. If we were to change something significantly from the way the building looks, I understand, Shannon, that it would have to come back to this board for a follow-up approval, which is not our intention. But there's also, what I'm trying to say is that there's a pathway to verify this back again later on.
Oh,
and I will say, if the planner had a question about whether or not the mural was, close enough to what the board had reviewed, and we thought there may be a change that you wanted to see, we would run that by the chair.
So for instance, if the artist that they retain to paint this mural decides to paint balloons on the wall instead of something similar to what is shown in this elevation, what is the recourse? What is our ability to control that it's somewhat like what's being represented on this plan that we're approving?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, you get a colors and materials board and there's, some degree of certainty that the mural is going to, at least it's going to be a landscape. There's going to be flowers. I imagine like that's the intent of the applicant here, is that it looks something like this, and that's why you showed this to the board. And we would review it to make sure that, it has the same design intent, at least, understanding, of course, the, intellectual property issues that people already discussed here, but.
Which is, I guess, what my question is, if a local artist is going to be retained to do this, I mean, this goes back several meetings, and initially there was no decoration of the front and the side at all, including around the doors, all sorts of things. And it has progressed to the point that I think we're all really happy with how this looks, and that it actually looks happy and welcoming. I would just like to make sure that we're not going to deviate very far from this. And it seems like, as anything else, when you get to a final, that we should be able to see what the final is going to look like. An artist who's going to do this is going to be able to do some sort of a rendering in anticipation of actual execution. I would just hate to see it fall flat. We put a lot of effort into making sure that this is really attractive.
Well, and the owner has as well. So
Yes,
I mean,
very much
hopefully
so.
it's in their best interest that it's
Absolutely.
somewhat similar and that they have some
Yeah.
control over the artist that ultimately does this work.
Yep. I mean, it is important.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, just like, they're going to come out and physically look at the plants so it represents what was submitted.
Sure.
They're going to do the same thing with this. So the final approval is actually physically seeing it prior to giving the certificate of occupancy.
Gotcha.
So that's all part of that process. We just want to make sure that if you say you're going to paint something, that you're going to paint it.
Yes.
So with that said, I don't think that we have anything else to comment on. Submit the landscape plans and we'll see you guys again in January.
We're going to do public comment.
Question though.
Yeah.
Are we going to come back for final and consent or a full meeting? Because in the past, when this sort of thing has happened, I've actually, once the planner gets the plans in hand, I've gone over to the county
Right.
office and reviewed them just to make the project move faster.
Well, I
That
didn't,
helps. So
I mean, if that helps, then that's fine. I didn't want to impose that on you.
it's just across the airport.
Okay.
So
So with that, we'll open up this item to public comment. Is there anyone that would like to make a statement on the aesthetics of what we're looking at?
We do. Please state your name.
Karen Howenstein. I'm a Lompoc resident. These buildings are really ugly. They don't go with the local surroundings at all. And the people in Mission Hills don't want them. I know you guys are talking like, oh, we don't want to hold up this project anymore. Do you know the developer personally? Any of you?
I actually do.
You do. So you're concerned that his business isn't getting enough business? I know a lot about Mr. Frank. We'll be reporting on it. Coast Audits on YouTube.
And then we have Joy.
Joy Hoover, resident of Mission Hills. It's times like these that I wish I had studied law in college instead of art. I did study art, so I can comment on the mural. And it's hard to listen to this developer be fuzzy on the art when, you know, the people in the neighborhood are going to have to look at this every single day. And it kind of matters, you know, our neighborhood kind of matters a little bit. When you take in the totality of this project, Brisa Encina, this childcare center, Plaza Bandito, Plaza Bandero, the impact of Firebird on our neighborhood is really a lot. And then if you think about the cell tower emitting all that radiation down the street, it's just a lot for our neighborhood. We don't get much attention from the county. Salud Carbajal famously called our area the armpit of the county. But the things they do affect us. We don't get any representation really. So I guess we'll have to hire some. So Frank, I'm not here to put you on notice. If one elderly person is victimized by people utilizing your development, which is being built for mentally ill homeless people, if one child is hit on their bike going to school or buying something at the market, by someone taking that horrible left turn out of this childcare center, we'll be coming for you with a lawyer, with a lawsuit. So be ready. Because corrupt Sacramento can pass as many laws as they want, allowing this in our neighborhood. But the millions of dollars, unaccountable dollars in NGOs like Firebird is taking from the state is wrong. And one day there will be an accounting. Thank you.
That concludes public comment.
Thank you. Anything else from the board? Okay. So Pablo and Frank, we'll see you guys in January.
All right, very good. Thank you.
It-
See you in January. Thank you so much.
To be clear, is that on consent or for a full meeting, just for the sake of the minutes?
You want to review that stuff?
I'm happy to go over there and review it, whatever, you know.
Okay.
I'd see it too, so. Okay, then we'll bring it back to the meeting.
Yeah, we'll do a full meeting on it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Okay, moving on to item number 3, BAR 2500100, the LeBlanc signage. Aaron, if you're ready, go ahead and introduce yourself for the record and begin the presentation.
Greetings, Aaron Hamilton here representing the current owner, George Wanis. Is my audio okay? Last meeting, I was told there was some buzzing.
It's better.
Okay. Do I need to be muting between?
No, I think what's happening is because I can hear myself in your speaker.
Okay. I'll turn it down a little. Okay. Ready when you are. We've done our best to tone things down at the site to maintain the aged look of the area and keep in theme with what's already existing. And hopefully you guys are happy with what we've been able to do.
Let's take a look at it.
So on sheet 2 is the overview where it'll show the sign and the canopy, and we went ahead and kept the pricer white because previously you could see it was white there. We did take into consideration your comments previously about the gas sign. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to render the lollipop dome, semi-dome shape of the sign, but we intend on maintaining the same shape as it is current. And we toned down the teal, so it's not quite as bright as it was. And we just left as you can see, we left the wood as it is on the canopy.
Aaron, what's the thought of the teal color?
It's the brand color, like Chevron blue or Shell red and yellow.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Chairman, are the fuel pumps actually rotated as shown in that previous slide? The previous elevation? Yeah, are the proposed fuel pumps rotated?
Looks it. I think it's just different color.
They're rotated, right?
Yeah, did you rotate them just so you can show us the signage? Or are they going to be permanently rotated like that? Is the question.
Sorry, I muted him.
Okay, you're unmuted on our end.
Wait, how'd I get muted? Anyway, no, it's just for aesthetic only. It is not a physical change to the pumps.
Okay, thank you. Does the board have any other comment on this?
Is it just the fuel island that's being altered, not the store?
It's actually just the signage imaging. The fuel pumps, the islands, none of that's actually changing. It's only the aesthetic. So yes, the store is not being touched.
Is it possible to see what the first submittal looked like once again, if it's possible?
Give me a minute.
From the last meeting? Yeah.
That helps a lot.
Significant improvement.
Yeah, great improvement. Thank you very much for the effort.
You're welcome. Yeah, we tried to tone it down.
I think my only comment, further comment would be on the beloved lollipop. You are going to do a new shape, sort of a disc rather than a rounded shape. Is that what it's going to be?
No, we're gonna try. It was hard to render the semi-dome shape that maintains that lollipop, but we are going to be, to our best ability, mimicking the same shape of the existing gas sign, but merely changing it to the brand colors.
Great. And then my other question, down by the sign where the pricing is, it looks like there's space for planting. Do you have any specifics in mind for how that's going to be landscaped in there? Or if it is going to be landscaped?
Nope, we're a sign company.
Because that seems like that should be part of it.
Okay. Yeah, this
Is that planter an existing condition?
Yeah, I certainly don't have any information on landscaping or anything of that nature, since we are merely doing sign imaging.
But the
Yeah,
planter is
unless
there.
there's the planning entitlement to, I mean, require them to do it, there's no change in use here, so there's no planning permit, and then there's no trigger to make them install additional landscaping.
But we can put that in the minutes that we would encourage them
Yes.
to fill in the planter, even though it's not a requirement.
Certainly.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I would be happy to relay that information along.
Thank you. Does the board have any other comments at this time?
So this is agended for preliminary and final.
And
Do-
final.
Do we need construction documents on this?
One more question. The bumper posts at either end of the fueling structure that are now white as opposed to red, and there's a band around them, is that illumination?
No. The only thing there's two things that would be illuminated, and that's the pricing sign and the gas sign. The canopy signage, the pump balances and skirts and bollards are all unilluminated.
Great. Thank you.
As part of your package, do you have attachment details and all that stuff? Or is it just the aesthetic that you've submitted for review?
We have some basic information if we scroll down.
Okay.
And that's usually something we hone in on further when building issues comments. But I can say that the attachment methods will have no effect on the aesthetics.
There was one. Okay. All right, so if the board has other comments with regard to this, is there anyone else that would like to speak on it?
We do not have any public comment.
Teresa, if any of the board members are speaking now, I am not able to hear them.
You're not able to hear me?
I am now.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
That's on me. As the board has no other comments and that we find that what they've done is agreeable to us and we like, I'll ask for a motion to grant final approval on this. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And thank you as well. I appreciate that. And Merry Christmas to everyone.
You too, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll now ask for a motion to conclude today's meeting. All in favor? Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you.